there, storytellers! Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to day 4 of Bookoween. Today's video, as you can tell from the title down below, is going to be the Halloween Creatures book tag. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it is a tag wherein there are prompts and you pick a book to answer said prompts. I don't remember who created it, but it will be linked down below if you want to take a look at it and maybe play along. But without any further ado, let's get into it. There's 13 prompts inspired by 13 Halloween-y creatures, and I picked books to fit the prompts. Let's go. Question 1 is which? A magical character or book? And for that, I went with Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman, mostly because I just read it and it was in the forefront of my mind. Like I mentioned in my review, it's not overly witchy, but they do have witchy vibes. Question 2 is Werewolf, the perfect book to read at night. And this one I kind of struggled with because I like reading at night, but I'm also somebody who, if the plot's too good, then I won't go to sleep and I'll stay up too late, or if it's too spooky, it'll get my gears turning and I'll stay up too late and I won't go to sleep. So I needed something that felt autumnal, still had a good plot, still made you want to read it, but wasn't something that I felt was sleep disruptive to myself at any rate. And for that, I went with Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. This follows En Salta as she enters the city of sin. I've talked about this book before. And there she meets Levi Glazier and craziness ensues, but it's a kind of fantasy meets like high stakes Vegas gambling crime families kind of vibe. It's a really fun ride. I highly recommend this trilogy, but especially Ace of Shades is really, really good. Question 3 is Frankenstein, and that is a book that truly shocked you. And while it would be amazingly cliche to say Frankenstein for the answer, I'm gonna say The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, because that book messed with my head, or short story rather, messed with my head as a kid. I think I read it middle school? Maybe early high school, I don't remember exactly when, but I remember being just, I was like, this is horrifying. These people are awful. Highly recommend though. It is a great study in human consciousness, but it's freaky. Question 4 is The Devil, a dark, evil character. And for this one, I kind of struggled because a lot of the villain characters in the books I like anyway are more anti-heroes, or at least are kind of understandably villains, or have redeeming traits. And so you know, I kind of like the the gray area characters. So I struggled with who was evil enough to be deemed evil. And for this, I ended up going with the Beldam, or the other mother from Coraline. She's just not nice. She lures you in, she makes you think she's gonna just make your life great, and then she tries to eat your life. So she's evil. She's not nice. Question 5 is Grim Reaper, and that is a character that never should have died. And I'm gonna preface this by saying I have not read these books yet, but I've seen the films, and if this character's death is even half as heartbreaking in the books as it was in the films, I think it more than qualifies, and that is Newt from The Maze Runner. I love Newt's character in the film, and from what I've heard, he's very enjoyable in the books as well. And I think that's why I'm putting off reading them, because like I said, if it's even half as heartbreaking, my heart's gonna hurt, and I don't know that I want it. I'll get to these at some point, I really will. But yeah, I don't think Newt should have died. I don't. Poor Newt. Brains! Question 6 is Zombie, and that is a book that made you hungry for more. And for that, I had to pick Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This book follows Stevie Bell and her friends. She's a budding detective at Ellingham Academy. She signs up to this exclusive boarding school to solve a decades-old cold case surrounding the original founder of the school and his family. But while she's there, while she's digging into stuff she shouldn't, other crazy things start to happen, and so she's solving cases in the past and in the present at the same time. The dual timeline is fantastically executed, and I absolutely could not put this book down. I was so ready each time the next installment in the series came out. It was that good. The cliffhanger, like normally I'm somebody who gets a little annoyed on the cliffhangers for novels, but it was good. I love this series. Love it. Question 7 is Gargoyle, and that is a character you would protect at all costs. And this one was a no-brainer. I went with Simon Snow, and by extension, Baz. I love them. They're both disasters in the best way. They're just so snarky and British, and they're so I've never related to characters more in some cases, like not overall, but just some parts of their beings I vibed with hardcore. I just love Simon. He's such a little disaster. He's such a good heart. He tries so hard and he goes through so much. Love him. Protect Simon. Question 8 is a book that sucked the life out of you. It's inspired by vampires. And for this one, I had to go with Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I don't like this book. Well, I should say I don't hate this book. I kind of like this book. I have conflicted feelings about this book, but it sucked the life out of me nonetheless. I like the intention of the story. I like the overall plot. I like some of the descriptions. What I don't like are some of the descriptions. There are sections that are so long, and they just go into details about things I don't care about. Like, I don't need pages upon pages describing Miss Havisham's disheveled, cobwebby room that she's in, and the fact that she's still in her bridal gown that's all disheveled, and she's kind of mean and crazy, and you could have just said the room is also disheveled. I got it. She did not get over her past, and she's kind of crazy and very mean because of it. I didn't need paragraphs about it. I didn't. So once I got some distance from Great Expectations, I came to accept that I liked the plot, but overall I do not like reading that novel. It sucks the life out of me when I do it. Question 9 is Ghost, and that is a book that still haunts you. And for me, I'm gonna go with The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, I think I'm right. The Yellow Wallpaper was another story that I read in like middle school or early high school that messed me up. It's this woman she has gone through a miscarriage, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, and to get away from the stress of it, her doctor suggests her husband take her out to their country house and she just not do anything. She just relax, just do literally nothing. So he basically locks her in this room so that she can do nothing, and she's forced to relax, except of course she ends up going crazy in the room because she's in there alone. She has no human contact. She can't like talk with her husband about her feelings, about what happened. She just is forced to sort of look out the window and watch life go by, and her mental state it deteriorates, and it's a very creepy read in a very realistic kind of way, and that is why it still haunts me. Question 10 is Demon, and that is a book that really scared you. And for me, I have to go with The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. It is such a spooky book. I don't know what it is about ghost stories, really well-written ghost stories at any rate, that just get under my skin. Something about that one especially, it got in my head, it got under my skin. Like, I had seen both versions of the movie, the original and the remake with Daniel Radcliffe, before I had even read the novel, and still, when I read the novel, even though I knew what was going to happen, it got under my skin and it freaked me out. It's that spooky and that good, and it really does. It scares me, but in the best way. Question 11 is Skeleton, and that is a character you have a bone to pick with. And for me, I have to say Gale Hawthorne from The Hunger Games by Susan Collins. I hate him. I hate Gale. Controversial opinion. I know some people out there love Gale. I hate him. He is a good friend at first, and then he's a jerk. And he's a jerk about Katniss, who's like, she's going through it, dude. She's got post-traumatic stress from being in the Hunger Games, and you're like, why aren't you just willing to kill more people? She's like, because I already killed people, man. You're asking me to do it again. I already did it. I don't want to do it anymore. And he's just like, why can't, just do it? Just sacrifice people for the greater good. And I don't like it. Plus, he's very pushy about his feelings for her. It's more about, you know, how he feels and how he realizes his mistake after she goes into the games. And she's like, yeah, where was this before I went in there, dude? We hung out like every day. But she's into him, so it's fine. At least for a little while. I don't like Gale. I don't. No offense to Liam Hemsworth. I thought he played Gale very well. I liked his portrayal of Gale. So I liked Gale a little bit better because I liked his portrayal, but I still don't like Gale. We are nearing the end here, folks. It is question 12, Mummy, a book you would preserve throughout time, and I don't really think I need to because this book's been around the block for a while now, but if if it was ever in jeopardy, I would preserve it myself. I would find a way to do so. And that is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Obviously, it follows Bilbo Baggins as he leaves the Shire and goes on an adventure, which is a very unexpected thing for a hobbit to do, as we all know. But he discovers how brave he really is, and he kind of helps set a major war in motion. But it's fine. You know, he wasn't intending to. He was just trying to help the dwarves get their home back. Consequences, man. Consequences. But I love this book so much. I would absolutely preserve it throughout time. But like I said, I don't think I need to. It's pretty well known. It's pretty well preserved at this point. But if it's ever in jeopardy, just know I'll be there. And last but not least, question 13, Creepy Doll, a book with a cover too scary to look at. And I couldn't think of one / couldn't really find one, so I struggled with this one, and the closest thing I had that I felt would work would be Salem's Lot by Stephen King, or at least my edition of it, the sort of statuesque stone lit from below vampire with the drop of very red blood. It's kind of creepy. I don't know if it's too creepy to look at, but like I said, I don't know if I have any books that I would personally deem too creepy to look at. If I found a book that I thought was too creepy to look at, I probably wouldn't own it. Let's be real. So this is the closest I got. But that is it for the Halloween Creatures book tag. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like down below. And if you agree or disagree with any of my answers, let me know down in the comments. Let me share your thoughts. What would your answers be for these questions if you had to answer them? Or, you know, like I said, if you agree, disagree, let me know. I'm interested in book discussions. Let's have it. But for now, I'm going to get going. If you want to keep up with me and all of my bookish adventures, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button. And of course, I highly recommend that you ring the little bell so that you don't miss a beat, because as I've been saying, every day in October, you're going to get a new video from me full of bookish content. So I will see you guys tomorrow with the next one. Ring the bell so that you don't miss it. I'll see you then. Bye!